Hi friends, so my name is Ratan. So now we're discussing interview questions, right? Good. So in this video we'll discuss about interview questions on super keyword. So any super keyword like interview level, and while developing the project also, by default super keyword is generated. It is calling the parent class constructors. Some problems it will generate. So now we'll discuss about the interview questions on super keyword. So interview questions on which one here? Super keyword, right? Good. So interview questions on super keyword. Simply here, so super keyword is opposite simply this keyword, right? Good. Now what is the purpose of super keyword? The first question regarding super keyword, the first one is what? What is the use of super? So simply what is super keyword? Tell me what is the purpose of super keyword here? The super keyword is used to represent super class objects, and this keyword is used to represent what? Current class object, right? Good. The first point regarding super keyword, the super keyword is used to represent the super class object. Point number one. And point number two, and one more important point you have understood, in entire Java, inside the static area, super keyword is allowed or not allowed. So inside the static area, super allowed or not allowed? Super, so allowed or not? Tell me simply. So inside the static area, super keyword is allowed or not allowed? Simply, it's not allowed. So don't forget that point. So generally, so inside the main method, public static void main, we are trying to use the super keyword and these keywords. The conclusion is, inside the static area, super keyword and this keyword both are not allowed. While applying the super keyword and this keyword, you can check that point once. Clear? Good. And coming to super keyword means representing super class object. Super class object means simply here, first let me declare the class parent, and I declared the class child. Class parent and class child. So class child means simply it extends which class? Parent class, right? Good. And super keyword here to represent the super class variables. For example, here I have integer a equal 10, I have integer b equal 20. So here also I have integer a equal 10, so I have integer b equal to 20. If the parent class contains same variable names ab, and the child also contains both same variables, right? If the parent and child class both are having the same names, and we have void m1 method. So void m1 method is also expecting integer a and integer b. I think you observed this example. Parent class contains ab values, child also contains ab values, m1 method is also contains ab values. In this case, local variables means directly you can print a plus b, no problem. And this is a current class variables, right? How to represent the current class variables? Represent the current class variables by using this dot a plus this dot b, this dot a and this dot b. How to represent super class variable? Simply super dot a plus, simply you can write super dot b. Enough. I hope you understand, right? So in the parent and child classes, if those are having same variable, then to represent the super class variables, use a super keyword. What the purpose of next one here? To represent the super class variables, we are using which keyword here? Super dot a and super dot b, right? In the same way, super class methods also. Super class methods also simply use which keyword here? Super keyword. I hope this example is clear. AB, here also AB. Local variables a plus b, current class variables this dot a plus this dot b, and the super class variables super dot a and super dot b value. Clear? Good. And so generally in the constructor level, so here I have the constructor. You know constructor rules and regulations, right? Constructor name, class name must be same. Here also I declared child of. Constructor name, class name must be same. How to call the super class constructor? Simply, so to call the current class constructor, simply are using which keyword? This keyword. So the next question simply can write how to call super class constructor. How to call super class constructors? Tell me simply how to call the superclass constructor here. Call the superclass constructors simply by using which keyword here? This keyword. How to call the superclass constructor by using this keyword? Sorry. To call a superclass constructor simply you have to use which keyword? Super keyword, not this keyword, right? Clear? So how to call superclass constructor? Call the superclass constructor by using super keyword. And one more point here. So question number 4 is, in which case the super keyword will be generated? In which case the super keyword is generated? The super keyword generated. Tell me in which case super keyword generated. In which case the super keyword generated means, for example, this is a constructor, right? Inside the constructor, if you are not declaring this and super keywords, so inside the constructor, any constructor like 0 argument constructor or 1 argument constructor, inside the constructor, if you are not declaring this and super keywords, then compiler generate the super keyword at first line of the constructor. The compiler generates which keyword here? Super keyword. So in which case the super keyword is generated means what? In any constructor. So while doing the projects, these cases are very, very important actually. So inside the constructor, if you are not declaring this and super keyword, then compiler generates super keyword at first line of the constructor simply. And the compiler generated super keyword, it is always 0 argument constructor calling once again. What is the compiler generated super keyword? The compiler generated super keyword is always how many argument constructor calling here? 0 argument constructor calling. I hope this point is clear. So in which case the super keyword is generated here? So inside the constructor, if you are not declaring this and super keyword, then compiler generates the super keyword. Clear? Good. The next one is the super keyword is any statement or it must be first statement. Super is any statement or first statement. Any statement or you can write the first statement. Tell me inside the constructor, super keyword is any statement or first statement? Obviously inside the constructors, this keyword must be first statement and the super keyword is also must be first statement. So inside the constructor, the super keyword is must be first statement. Clear? And question number 6, is it possible to use 2 super keywords in a single constructor? Is it possible? Possible to use 2 super keywords? 2 super keywords. Tell me, is it possible to use 2 super keywords or not? Simply there is not possible simply. So inside the constructor, it is possible to use how many super keywords? Only 1 super keyword. Clear? How many super keywords are allowed? Either 1 argument constructor calling or 0 argument constructor calling. So inside the constructor, it is possible to use how many super keywords? Only 1 super keyword, right? Good. And number 7. So to call the superclass constructor, so we are using simply which keyword here? Super keyword, right? Like super of 0 argument means what? Superclass 0 argument constructor will be executed. Clear? So you know, in the parent and child relationship, first of all, the parent class instance blocks are executed, then child class instance blocks will be executed, right? So you know the parent and child relationship, first parent class static, first parent class instance block, then child class instance blocks are executed. And the last one is in the parent and child relationship, first parent class static blocks, then child class static blocks are executed, right? So there's the main points regarding what? Your super keyword. Clear? So total how many questions? Simply 6 questions. So the question number 1 here, what is a super? Tell me what is the purpose of super keyword? The super keyword is representing super class object. Inside the static area, super is allowed or not allowed? So inside the static area, both this is not allowed and super keyword is also not allowed. How to call the super class constructors? Call the super class variables. Simply can write 7th one also. How to call super class variables? How to call the superclass variables? So represent the superclass variables by using which keyword? Simply super keyword. And how to call the superclass constructors? Call the superclass constructors by using which keyword? Super keyword, right? In which case the super keyword is generated. Like inside the constructor, if you are not declaring super keyword and if you are not declaring this keyword, then compiler generates super keyword. The compiler generated super keyword is how many argument constructor? Compiler generated super keyword, how many arguments? How many args? Tell me, compiler generated super keyword is how many argument constructor? Simply it's a 0 argument constructor, right? How many argument constructor? Simply 0 argument constructor. Super keyword is any statement, or you can write the first statement. Obviously super keyword must be first statement. Is it possible to use 2 super keywords inside the class, inside the constructor? Tell me, inside the constructor, so 2 super keywords are allowed or not allowed? Simply not allowed. How to call the superclass variables? By using super keyword. Compiler generated super keyword is how many argument constructor? How many argument constructor here? Simply it is the 0 argument constructor, right? Good. So these are the main interview questions regarding what? Super keyword. The final time I will repeat once again. What is a super? Tell me, what is a super keyword here? The super is representing what? Super class object. Inside the static area, super is allowed or not allowed? Simply not allowed. How to call the superclass constructors? By using super keyword. In which case the super keyword is generated. So inside the class, if you are not declaring this and super keyword, then compiler generates the super keyword. Super is any statement or must be first statement. Inside the constructor, the super keyword must be first statement. Is it possible to use the 2 super keywords or not? Tell me, inside the constructor, is it possible to use the 2 super keywords or not? Not possible. How to call the superclass variables? Call the superclass variables by using super keyword. How to call the superclass methods? Question number 9. How to call superclass methods? How to call the superclass methods? Call the superclass methods by using super keyword. And can please observe one point? Actually, I think you know this point already. Class parent, if the parent class and child class, void m1 method, class child extends which class here? Simply parent class. Here also contains void m1 method. If both the classes contain same method, for example some void x method, inside the x method this dot m1 means which method is executed? This method will be executed. Super dot m1 means which method is executed? This method will be executed. So what is the conclusion? Tell me here. What is the conclusion? Tell me. In this case, parent class m1 and child class m1. So in this case, this dot m1 means current class method, super dot m1 means super class methods will be executed. So finally, what is the conclusion? Can you please observe one point? In the parent class and child class are variables or methods. If they are having same names, like AB variables, child class also AB variables, then to represent the parent class super dot A, super dot B, and to represent the child class this dot A and this dot B. And if the parent class contains M1 method, child class also contains M1 method. In this case only, this dot M1 means child class M1, super dot M1 means parent class M1. I think you got it right. So when to use the super keyword means this is the answers. So any doubts regarding these 10 questions, like 9 questions? So clear? So thank you guys. So I'll meet in next video. So we'll continue. Thank you.